This program is brought to you by the Reeves Law Firm, representing you and your Social Security and disability needs. If you have a problem or questions regarding Social Security and disability, call attorney Anthony Reeves, toll free at 1-888-962-0007. Again, that's 1-888-962-0007. Or go to www.reevesfirm.com.
Welcome to another edition of Q&A Social Security Disability Today. Let's get to your questions. Autism, Aspergers syndrome. Okay. One of the things that I tell people all the time, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it specifically about mental impairments, especially specific ones like this, is that there are some conditions that sometimes what happens is that people believe that a person having a particular condition in of itself is disabling, where getting Social Security should probably be an automatic. And I always caution people that that's not necessarily the case. I've represented people with cancer who've been denied for disability benefits because maybe the type of cancer that they have is one where it is of such severity where it doesn't prevent them from being able to work, meaning they've gone to chemo, it's gone to remission, they're fine. Same thing with autism. There are some people with autism and some people with Asperger's syndrome who are still able to function within society enough to work. The question is not necessarily the fact that the person, and I've said this with other videos, don't focus solely on the impairment. The focus is not necessarily on the impairment. The focus is how limiting is the impairment. Let me give you an example. I'm going to jump back and forth from autism to other ones. Look at diabetes. I've got plenty of friends who are on diabetes who are still working actively. But the question is, how limiting is the diabetes? Are you just basically treating diabetes with medication? Are you treating it by diet and exercise? Are you having problems with retinopathy, which basically is kind of a blurry, scratchy feeling of the vision? Neuropathy, which usually means a burning sensation in the hands and the feet. Are you having problems where you're using insulin as shots as opposed to pills? Same thing with autism and Asperger's syndrome. Are you an individual that can function independently? Do you require a job coach? How are you able to function with other individuals? Meaning, can you do well with crowds of people? Or can you do well with working by yourself? Can you work with on a kind of like a conveyor line if you're giving a task and so forth? Do you require additional retraining? Things of that nature. I've got a few clients that I've represented in Asperger's syndrome, and it's amazing because when I'm looking at their breakdown, I have to remind, and I've told some people this too, please do not convince yourself or talk yourself into believing that someone who has autism or Asperger's syndrome or any of these other variations and so forth automatically will get them disability benefits. Because and this is even more so when they're adults, because what you're going to find is that there are a lot of individuals with Asperger's, Down syndrome, autism, things like that, that are still able to operate positively and function independently within society to the point of being able to work a job. Remember, the key is not the condition, it's the circumstances and the limitations by the condition. That's much more important than the condition itself. Again, I want to thank you for joining me for another